in this video, let's begin by looking at the sample data, which will help illustrate the features and the functions of the template. So when you open it, this is what the template will look like. And as you can see here, the home sheet where you begin, this has a lot of information about the template, what are the features of the template, how to use the template, and also a detailed list of definitions of the terms that are used in the template and also some calculations used. And there are two worksheets where you would enter information. So the projects and the tasks sheets are where you would actually enter information about your projects and tasks. And then you get to view and print the three outcomes of this template: the project schedule, resource schedule, and the summary report. So let's begin by looking at the projects sheet first. So you can use the top bar here to navigate, or which has all the links to navigate between the different sheets in this template. So let's go to the project sheet first. And this is where you begin your data entry. The first one is your list of projects and information about your projects. So that give names to your projects. And if you want to write any descriptions of your project so that you can identify them easily, enter the descriptions here. And then if you have any restriction on how early you can begin a certain project, so you would enter the date here. If you don't have any restrictions, you can leave that blank. If you have any deadlines in your mind for certain projects, then you would enter them as due dates. If you don't have any specific deadlines, you just want to finish it as soon as you can, then you would leave that as blank. This is very important. So you have to set priority for the projects. So in this case, there are 6 projects here, and I've assigned them different priorities. So number 1, or the lowest number, will be the project that's given the highest priority. So number 1 priority means project 5. The template will attempt to assign all the tasks and complete all the tasks for project 5 as soon as possible before it looks into the other projects. So that's how the priority value will be used by the template. And the number 2 in data entry is the resource information. So these are human resources or people. So you would enter the names of people, and then people who would be helping out with this project, and then how many hours are they available per day. And just to recap, this template is actually the granular unit used in the template is hours. And so on a given day, there are 24 hours. So your resource may be available up to any number of hours in that day. And you would enter that here, and it can be different values for different resources. In this example, I've used 6 hours for all the resources. Number 3 is entering your planning period start date. And so this is when the template will begin assigning tasks. So in this example, I've used 1/12/2013, January 12th, 2013 as my planning period start date. And the planning period itself is 60 working days, and that is fixed. You can't change that. So the template will try to plan beginning from Jan 12th, 2013 for the next 60 working days. So Saturdays and Sundays are weekends, and they are not included in the planning period. And also any holidays that you would enter here in number 5 here will also be excluded from working days. So number 4 is pretty straightforward. You just would enter your own name if you want to display it on the reports. And then number 5 is the list of you can enter up to 10 days, which would be considered as holidays and would be excluded from your planning period. And this is, obviously applicable if you're working, and if you have any holidays at your workplace, you want to make sure that you enter them here so that you don't assign any tasks on those holidays. So now that we are done with all these 5 steps here, we're done with data entry. Watch out for this data validation box. This will tell you if you have entered something wrong. For example, if you enter the same resource name again or duplicate them, then that would also show up as an error. If you have duplicate project names, that will show up as an error. If you don't enter a planning period start date, that will show up as an error. So these things have been put in place to make sure that the data is good before you start using the information on the project and resource schedules. So now that we're done with the project sheet, let's go to the tasks. So the task sheet is a little different from the project sheet. As you can see, at the top, you have some summary statistics which update as you enter information in the table below. The top section will automatically update. And here it tells you how many projects are there, how many resources do you have, and how many projects will complete, and how many projects will complete on time, and what is the resource utilization rate and others. So these are summary statistics for the information that you have entered. And there is a box here which is called an advice. And this box is the template trying to figure out how it can make things better in the project plan. So before we go there, let me talk a little bit about the table below. So this is the table where you would enter your project and project's task information. So for example, here for project 1, I have entered 7 tasks. And for these 7 tasks, I have assigned a resource to each of those tasks. And then in some cases, a task can begin only if after some other task has been completed. So that is what is called a predecessor. And so here I have, for example, predecessor for this task number 1 in project 1. That means the template will not begin task 1 in project 1 until project 2 task 1 is complete. And you can enter up to 2 predecessors for any given task in this template. And also this these predecessors can come from other projects as well. So just like in this example, the predecessor for this task is coming from project 2. So the template can also handle predecessors from other projects as well. Then finally, you enter how long or how many hours do you expect this specific task to take to complete. And there's a comments field. If you want to enter more information about a specific task to track things, then you can enter that as well. And totally there were 150 tasks that you can enter, and there are 25 projects that you can enter, and the number of resources that you can enter are 15. So that now that we have completed discussing the table of tasks, now let's go back to the top. Again, just like the project sheet, there is a data validation box. Look for any data errors. If there are, please correct them before you start moving further, because if you have incorrect data, then also the reports may be incorrect as well. So please make sure that you see no errors in the data entry message. That means you're good to go. Advice. Let's come back to advice. So this, for example, in this case, the template using the data it has figured out that the project 1 will not complete because by the end of the planning period, it will still have 39 hours of work pending. Okay. And also it looks into task 4 is delayed at the start by 45 days. So that means the task number 4 in project 1, this has been delayed. This has kind of been waiting because the resource B that it needs to work on may be busy with something else. And that's why this project has been delayed. So it's a suggestion that the template is giving is try assigning resource C to task 4. That's because it's figured out that resource C was available at the time. So why don't we try assigning it? So look for these suggestions, and then you can change your resource assignment here and see how things change. That is just a suggestion based on the information it sees. It may not always be the optimal suggestion because there's no optimization algorithm in this template. But this is just a simple suggestion that you can try implementing and see how things change. Hopefully it makes it better. Now, that is pretty much all we need to do in the tasks worksheet. Now it's time, we have completed all the data entry. Let's go into the 3 sheets where you would get to see the results or get to see what's happening in terms of your project plans.